movie that revolutionized filmmaking and created a genre on its own, even though it existed before, about three film students lost in a dark forest looking for a mysterious witch. I'm talking about the Blair Witch Project. So I just came back from a film set. I have awesome, very dark and mysterious makeup on, and I thought, why not use it to discuss the importance of the Blair Witch Project. For those of you who are not familiar, this is a found footage film about three students that are lost in a forest in Maryland, documenting what possibly could be the grounds for where a witch could live. And they get increasingly deeper and deeper into the forest without the ability to get lost. Insanity starts settling in, and some weird noises are happening outside of their tents, and they see weird little imagery on trees, and they start getting the understanding that they're never going to get out of this forest. And the horror actually happens outside of the camera. So what's being filmed is people's reaction to the horror and their fear, and our minds and our imaginations are the ones that are actually doing most of the work, because we're imagining the most horrible things while we actually see very little of that horror. And that is the beauty of the Blair Witch Project. It really utilizes the most primal thing that every human shares, which is the ability to imagine something scary. And our imagination is by far way more powerful in creating horror than anything you can create on screen. So Blair Witch Project really does well. But I want to discuss with you the importance of the Blair Witch Project and how it changed movie making and the movie business. So think about this. What Blair Witch Project did in 1999 is do a movie that is not very new, but they did it very well at a significantly lower budget. The trick: the film took $600,000, that was their budget, and turned it into a box office worldwide with movie release of $240 million. That is a profit that is insane. Followed by a string of movies that try to imitate the genre, and of course the business model of making horror films with a certain degree of quality that they could be released on DVD in those days, but hopefully in the movie theater, and get a huge return on investment. And now, here's the beauty. Do you remember Paranormal Activity? There were, I think, 6 of them. The first one was done for $450,000, and the worldwide box office gross was around $200 million. That is a huge return on investment. And that little movie and that little franchise helped create Bloomhouse. Now, Bloomhouse, it's a powerful machine that creates films that are highly profitable. Most of their films, the different purges and indies such as Us and Ma and the Insidious series, and all of those very interesting thriller and horror flicks and films that nobody else would make because they think, how are we going to make money on this? Blumhouse does. Their budgets range between 5 to 10, maybe $15 million. And most of their movies make between 90 to 150, $160 million. They are a money-making machine. Think about this for a second. Blumhouse, by releasing 5, maybe 6 smaller budget horror flicks, does almost as much money as Marvel in the same year. And I'm talking about just movies. I'm not talking about merch and other stuff. And Marvel spends hundreds of millions of dollars on their movies. Blumhouse's budgets are tiny. So what's happening? How is it that Blumhouse has figured out a model to trick our brains into spending money to go and get scared, and use our brains as the machines that actually do the work. Because Insidious shows very little. They create an atmosphere for scary stuff, but at the end of the day, it's really not that outstanding filmmaking, even though I really enjoy watching those movies, and I really hope to one day make a horror film that scares people. So the trick to a good movie and a good business model is spend little, get a lot back, and the best way to do it is horror. So if you are an aspiring filmmaker, if you are a proven filmmaker, the most economically sound model is, for the first couple of movies, horror is your way to go. And so thank you, Blair Witch Project, for having 3 film students run around in the forest and create the stage for our minds to really terrify us. Don't think that, it's just people running around with a camera though. In order to make that movie look good and make that found footage look good, they needed to use great lights, hire good actors, plan things very well, and it wasn't done just as a happenstance. So it was a lot of hard work. So I would love to hear, what is your favorite low budget, high yield horror film? I'm Jin from Get Me More. You know where to find me. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.